a wonderful training on Tuesday. I want to welcome every one of you for your time, for taking this time out for yourself. But most importantly, I want to thank our speaker for today. So, to begin, let us welcome her in the way that we always do. So, let me ask, how's everybody doing? Unmute yourself.
Awesome!
Awesome,
Awesome!
awesome, awesome.
Awesome!
Awesome.
And how's the
Awesome!
energy in here, guys?
Hi,
Super
hi, hi.
high, high,
Hi!
super high.
Hi, hi, hi! Woo!
Hi!
Awesome. All right, Jing, we're getting this stage ready for you so that you can rock and roll. The energy in this room is always high and we're always awesome. And we're so grateful that you're here with us. So, allow me to
Okay.
introduce Jing. Jing is a rapid transformation therapy hypnotherapist and a success coach. She's passionate about making a difference in the world and transforming people so that they can discover what it means to be human. Isn't that so beautiful? She's a what she wants to do is to create a world that works for everyone. It's so beautiful. She's a humanitarian and has been exploring the field of transformation, healing, and well-being for over a decade, which means over 10 years, and is driven by the question of how do I best serve humanity. I think we can all clap for her right there because it's so beautiful. She deeply cares about what really works to support another human being and enjoys life with power, freedom, self expression, and peace of mind anywhere, anytime, any circumstance. That's what she wants to help all humans to achieve. The root cause, the one thing that changes everything. Apart from being a certified rapid transformation hypnotherapist, which I'm sure she'll tell us what that is and what that enables her to do, she's also a graduate and a coach of the transformational work Landmark Worldwide. She's a certified reconnective healing practitioner, a graduate of Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within from London. So am I. I did it in the US. Vipassana meditator. Jing, you're in the perfect room. We have at least four, if not five, Vipassana meditators here. And she has explored a host of other spiritual work and healing practices. You are in perfect company. We are honored to have you here. Thank you so much for your time, Jing. This is all yours. Welcome. Let's everybody clap for her and welcome Jing. Jing, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jing. All
Yeah,
yours.
thank you for the beautiful introduction. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. And yeah, I think at the beginning, I asked Reno a bit. I wanted actually to see everyone. So can we please just keep it this way so I can see everyone's faces? So when I asked earlier, I said, where are everyone's from, basically? And I heard some answers from around the world, India and Dubai and other places. So if you can, just show of hands, who's from Dubai? Let me see my Dubai crowd. Wow. Hello, hello. And India? Yeah, I see someone. Yeah. Hi. And I see someone. Okay, I don't see the videos of other people, but that's awesome.
Guys,
Yeah.
keep the video on. Jing wants to see us, and that's important.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Look at that face. Yeah.
They all have beautiful faces. I really don't know why they're not in video.
Yeah, I think some people are just managing some, eating at the moment. They don't want to be just distracting. So I think that's actually rather considerate. So you see, this is all about communication, right? I totally get you, okay? And thank you for showing up and, just to let us see your beautiful faces first. And some other locations, anyone from different locations, anyone else, anywhere else? So this is just to acknowledge the space, right? To acknowledge each and every one of you who's joining in here and from wherever you are. Because, from quantum level, this is also something quite interesting. So we're all on
this is Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
We also have the western part of the world here.
Yeah, I know Chero is from Canada, right? You're dialing from Canada, and
Yes.
That's amazing. So this is literally, we are bridging the continents, and most importantly, I think, bridging the hearts of humans. So you see, when I see the faces, I really don't see us as, just the bodies and the faces that we have. Of course, that's beautiful. But the most importantly, what we're speaking is from the heart. So this is what's really driving us and what's going to give us the guidance. And I truly believe, we're just all connected from here, just feel that pumping of the hearts. That's so amazing. Awesome. I love this awesome tribe. And thank you. Another thing which I want to create in this space is that, of course, all of you acknowledged. And I know that Sarah just joined, and welcome, Sarah. And we were just introducing. And if you want, you can pop in the chat where you're from so that you get acknowledged, and we all welcome you. And so before we start, one thing I would like to create in this space is that I know we have all discovered or explored in different spaces and different learnings with different approaches, right? When we come to learn a new thing, I know we're all very incredibly open-minded, but as human beings, this is something that we cannot avoid. Subconsciously, we have this comparison, judgment, or like, oh, this is something I don't agree, and then your mind engaged in all this comparison, and you miss out whatever the information is presented in front of you. So my invitation is for everyone. This is for you, because my intention here is to make a difference to all of you, okay? And I'm committed to doing that. So now I'm creating for each and every one of you during this session, at least during this session, can you just brackets everything you learned, everything you know, all the other approaches, whatever, just put aside for a bit and keep an open mind. And even though some things that you hear come up and say, oh, I don't agree with that, it's absolutely fine, no problem. But don't argue with it. Don't have a little fight in your head, and then you miss out all the good information for yourself. Okay, because the message today is all about you. It's not about me. It's not about other coaches or other people. It's all about you. So I want to invite you to really listen for yourself and what you can get out of this. Okay, all right, are we all good? Thumbs up. Awesome, awesome. Oh, I love this crowd. Oh my God, I love this community. You're building a wonderful one. I just really, truly acknowledge you, Cheryl. And this is a wonderful work. All right, so let me share my, I prepared a little slide. I have a little presentation to share with you. So let me find my slide over here. Okay, so this is the, sorry, yeah, this is the slide which I prepared for you. Can you all see the screen share? Okay, awesome, wonderful. Yeah, it's just too bad now with the slide in front of me, I can't see all of you. So I can only see a few of you, but that's good enough. Okay, just give me indications if anything go wrong. Okay, let me know. And so the reason why, okay, let me do the play so that we can actually, is that better? Okay, awesome. So as I shared earlier, this is for you to discover your true power, to discover who you are as a human being, right? We're gonna explore the power of your subconscious mind. This is a topic, literally, all the successful people that I know or I heard of, I studied with, this is the only thing that they focused on. You will understand why, okay? So I'll show you. And so the question which I asked for the longest time is this question. And this has been really guiding me through thick and thin, right? So I invite all of you start asking questions as well, because you will understand why later as well. Because truly, questions is the only thing that's gonna keep you open. And this is an amazing question, because everything I do, I ask this question, what makes the difference? Because my heart is coming from support another human being, make a difference in the person's life, right? So I want the most effective way, the shortest route. And I found it. This is go to the root cause. The root cause is from our subconscious mind. And we will talk about more later, right? So, but in this session, I know we're called Training Tuesday. So let's do some training, huh? So you will get these 3 points, because you see, when we're talking about all of the subconscious mind and this and that, how to be a human, let's see, as human beings, there's nothing wrong with us, okay? Nothing wrong, but it's just some things like roadblocks in front of us that we can't go past, that we just trip every time, and we have that kind of experience that we don't really want, right? So we're going to discover today what's holding you back, what has been blocking you, right? Having whatever you want, like people having, wanting to have perfect health, fulfilling love relationships, and true abundance, right? These are the fundamental, needs and wants that we want. But I mean, all of this is actually our birthright, right? And then the second of all, we will learn, okay, how we can actually create a pathway, right? So we can learn the how, use future vision, because this is the only way we can pull ourselves out of that ditch, right? And then, we can learn to outperform the past, because as human beings, we constantly go back to the past, right? By the way, do you know that you have no escape? Because this is the rules of the mind. The mind will always go back to the past. That's called the comfort zone, right? Have you heard of the comfort zone? So the third, and of course not the least, is really truly discover the secret and the access, how you actually can unleash yourself and take inspired actions. So you will never be stopped by, we're talking about fear to freedom, right? So this is never be stopped by fears, and then achieving literally what's important to you in your life, because each and every person, we have different things that important in our life, right? But whatever that important thing in your life, you will have the secret access and then shortest route to get there. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to talk about today. So, but before we do that, so there's another question: why we are the way we are as a human being? Have you ever thought about it? Because there's a funny thing we talk about. When we have buy a TV, buy a washing machine, or we get this and that, we always come with the instructions, right? Explaining how we use it, etc. But can you imagine? We as human beings, we come to this world. Nobody ever gave us a menu saying, oh, we should be this way, we should be that way. And then we just, boom, we dropped in the world, we dropped in the environment. The only way we survive is absorb this, absorb that. And then we became the way that we are, right? And then another thing, I use an analogy about this is that, after my years of discovering, what I discovered? The truth about the way we are is, if you look at this picture, this is a movie called Aladdin's Lamp, right? This cartoon, one of my favorite. And this blue genie, right? It comes out of lamp, but when you learn how to access it, it will come out the lamp, and it will give you everything and anything that you want, right? You know what happened to us as human beings? We have the same. Do you know that? We are giving the same. The lamp is actually inside of us. Of course, we can manage it. We can use that. So what happened is that, imagine you have a genie inside of you. That's the subconscious mind, which I will talk about later, okay? How we're going to access that. But first, just get this, okay? This genie can give you anything and everything that you want, literally. And the only thing you need to know and learn is just to learn how to access it, okay? So I'm just putting this here in the space. So later on, just to intrigue you, and then later on we'll learn how we can access that, okay? So just have that in your mind and thinking, oh, wow, I actually have my genie. Wow, what we can do with this, yeah? Think about the possibilities. What do you want out of your life now? You can prepare it for the genie later, huh? All right, so there's I'm from a small farm village in China. I will share a little bit more later. And so I like to use farming as analogy, because analogy is really clear, right? It shows immediately what it is. So in farming, if you haven't heard about this or didn't know anything about farming or growing anything, just common sense, have a look, right? If there's a field and you want to plant something, can you see all the weeds in the first picture, right? And it's absolutely covered by all the weeds. Can you plant anything in there? Is there any space? Right, of course, no space. So what happens is that in the process, of course, which the process I discovered now, what we're doing is that first we take out the weeds, and then we prepare the land, the field, and then we plant. Wow, voila, you have success, and you can uh, literally just wait for your harvest, right? It's going to be a bountiful harvest. But look at this picture, right? What happened over here is, look at the weeds in the first picture, right? And as we grade, no space, but still, you know, some people, they just either don't know how, or, you know, they're just too lazy, or say, oh, I don't want to do anything, I just want to sow the seeds. And then that's what they did. And look, this is the harvest, right? Like literally you got nothing, mostly just weeds, right? And that's what human beings are experiencing. Can you resonate? Excuse me, can you relate yourself to the kind of experience in life, right? There's most people experiencing like this. So over here, the weeds, what we're talking about is referring to the negative beliefs. See, the negative beliefs, the most common one, oh, I'm not good enough. How many of you actually saying that? Or you sometimes like caught a glimpse of that, oh my God, I'm actually saying that. It actually takes a lot of work for you to actually be aware and notice that you're saying that. Most people have no idea they're saying that. They have this kind of belief, right? We're just human beings. We just, you know, bump here, bump there, and we don't know why, you know, we can't get the job, or we don't go for the job, the dream job, etc., etc. There's so many other negative beliefs, right? And then another common analogy we use is called glass ceiling, right? The weeds are like the glass ceiling. When you have a negative belief, it acts like a glass ceiling. Even though you can see through it, you know that's where you want to go, but you just can't get there. How many of you want to be rich and successful? I guess we all want to, right? But you know, you just find yourself somehow just blocked. You can see that, but you just feel like you can't get there. That's the glass ceiling, okay? We call it glass ceiling. And the glass ceiling, of course, the limiting beliefs that, you know, like stuff like I'm not good enough, I don't deserve, and this is what it is, right? And so the next slide is going to be very important. So I'm going to just make a hint over here. I want you actually be prepared, you know, really take a screenshot for the next slide. This question I want all of you to answer, and it can potentially change your life. And this is the question when one of my favorite mentors, Dan Sullivan, the most prominent business coach, who asked this question. And you know, this is literally to help you. This is the second approach. We're talking about future vision, right? So the only way to dig us out of the ditch is to help ourselves first get to the future. So let's say, imagine, right? 3 years from today, we have a conversation. And looking back at all your experience in both personally and professionally, what has to happen in your life for you to be happy with your progress? Just take a moment to let it sink in and to think at least one answer, or write something like one sentence. You know, for me, when I look back, because, you know, as a humanitarian, but, you know, the work which I do, I want to focus on really make a difference in a way that makes a difference, you know. So I want to teach people how to fish, not, you know, give them fish. So, you know, if I say, look, from 3 years from today, I look back, I would say, you know, if I were able to build a foundation, you know, I could, you know, donate or contribute or whatever, you know, I have this, you know, $1 million just somehow in my mind about how to actually contribute in a way, using this $1 million in the best way possible, so we can really make the most difference to the most people. So if in 3 years I look back and this is what I can accomplish, wow, that's absolutely something that satisfies me to the most, in my heart's content. Of course, I'll continue to grow, but 3 years from now, this is what I have. Okay, so you can really take this and then write it. You can keep going and keep creating, because new things will come up for you. Okay, so we're gonna move on now. I hope everyone already got this, and I'm sure you can also search that. And so let's start talking about the idealism, talking about what it is, right? Talking about how and why, and, you know, the science behind it. Have you ever stopped and think about how did all these things in the world exist? Some of you, most of you, many of you from Dubai or even India, in Dubai, there's so many things just boom, they came up, right? Burj Khalifa and all of these, skyscrapers. And you know that about a decade ago, this place is like a little fish village. But how did all of this just begin, right? Even other places in the world, right? How did all these people build airplanes and build all these incredibly complicated things? You know, because all of this actually existed first in what? Where? In our head. Exactly. With an idea. Somebody had an idea. And then this idea sought the manifestation in reality, right? But first, you got to have that idea. When you have that idea, then it's kind of like, I call it a GPS or a missile, like almost missile with the GPS now. Literally, it doesn't matter what happens. You will have that pathway. You will have that target. You will have that aim where you want to go. Then the path is naturally laid out, right? That's the future vision, right? That's why how important is the future vision. That's why that question which I asked earlier. Otherwise, our mind is just wandering all over the place. You have no idea, and no idea, no things, no reality, nothing. So we got to have the idea. See, this takes effort, consciously create. So this will create the success that you want as well, right? So this is why we talk about future vision, right? But the interesting thing about human being, remember I was talking about, we always go back. And also we always talk about what we don't want, because the people are just so bogged down by the circumstances. Have you ever noticed, like, oh, there's traffic jam, and people just always complain about traffic jam, oh, this weather, oh, politics, oh, this and that, oh, something not really to their liking, right? The circumstances so bad. Well, now currently we talk about corona. So many people focus their whole energy on that, and they literally scared, and they literally just completely just lost everything, right? Even people who, of course, the reality is reality. Some people really facing hardships in terms of losing jobs and all of that. This is all circumstance, right? We don't deny all of that, but let's see what we can do to help ourselves out of it, right? So this is a question which I have been asking my clients and people around, and these are the answers what people told me. I asked them, what do you want? Guess what they said? I don't want to be stressed. Oh, I don't want to be so busy. I don't want to be criticized. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to smoke. And I want this. I don't want that. Can you see? There's nothing about what you want. It's all about what you don't want. Even sometimes people say, oh, I want this, I want that. Do you know that I want money? I want more money. I want a better life. I want more successful, be more successful. Do you know when you say all those things, behind the message, what it means is that, oh, I don't have that. Oh, I don't have that enough yet. So that's actually also negative, right? So it's very interesting. Once you learn the secret behind it, you can really dissect how we are behaving as human beings, right? So even for this one of my clients lives from London, right? She came to me wanting to be um, helped on some past hurts, because she had so many hurts about love relationships, and she felt like she's traumatized. So when we were working, I asked her, do you know the kind of dream partner that what kind of dream partner you want? And then she said yes. And I said, okay, can you describe for me? Because in my session, what happens is that we always capture the future vision, what the kind of life that they want to be, or what they want to have in the end, right? Without the issue. So then we can program that into their subconscious mind after we clear whatever they're holding to before, the weeds, right? So she was describing to me, this is what she said. And it's all about, oh, he doesn't get angry, it's this past, right? Something happened in the past, so she was just using that. And he doesn't criticize everything I do, and he doesn't smoke and doesn't drink too much, and he doesn't do bad things behind me. Hello, welcome. Somebody just joined, I think. Yeah, so all of this, she just kept going and going and, using all of this, what she didn't want. And then she just went on and on and on. And, the interesting thing about this is that it doesn't matter where you are in life or what kind of status you are. She's a highly educated person and she's a business owner. Um, but still, this is all about awareness, right? She's just not aware. Why? Because psychologists say actually only about 5% or less of us is coming from the conscious mind. That's the conscious mind that we are, when we are awake, we are book reading, having logic, talking about all these things, like we consciously do, right? 5%. But more than 95% of us is coming from the subconscious mind. Like this is including our emotions, right? How we feel about everything and our behaviors, our likes and dislikes. And, these are the, major drivers of who we are as a human being. Like you go outside, you walk around, you have no idea how you are being as a human being. That's 95% of you. Yes, maybe you'll be thinking about, oh gosh, I need to go to the gym. I drive myself. I have willpower. That's only about 5% of you. That's why I say sometimes we say willpower doesn't really work. If you really want to help yourself, because sometimes people push so hard, right? It's kind of like borderline on, kind of really harsh on themselves. So if you really want to work to support yourself, coming from loving yourself, it's never about, being so harsh on yourself, beat yourself up, if you didn't do the thing that you want to do. Instead, you learn the secret, right? So now I'm sharing with you the secret access behind it. So you come, oh, see, 95% I actually don't see. I'm on autopilot. Okay, all right. So what is the access? Even including all these highly educated people, and they're still doing the same with me. Like we're all the same, It doesn't matter because that 5% really doesn't make that much of difference. You think some people, they are so egoistic, right? They think they are like, wow, I have all these degrees coming out of my ears. I am all figured out. But no, that's not the truth at all. Transformation is what really needed over here in the subconscious mind. We're going to topple this autopilot, literally. So imagine, right? If your subconscious mind, the beliefs that we set, how we are behaving, kind of like the blueprint, right? Like the blueprint that we have over here, or the a thermostat. And for some people, they refer to as a set point. And this is the kind of thing that we are really having, like if you have the blueprint, if you build, it doesn't matter what you do, at the end, you're going to only build to the blueprint, right? And then if you set this thermostat to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to only get to 72. It doesn't matter how hot maybe if you have the fireplace going on, or how cold it might be, you have the door open in the winter, right? It will always come back to this the point you set, right? So that's what happened to all of us. If you have a belief that I'm not good enough, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, how much you push in your life. Okay, you're gonna always come back to that. You'll always go in circles around and around, and feeling like beating up in your life. You can't go to the next level, right? And then there's also another thing when we talk about the mindset is if like let's talk about money, okay? The money blueprint, let's say, because this is something very important to all of us, right? Finances. There. I don't know whether you heard of the all these lottery winners. It doesn't matter how much money they win. Do you know? A few years later, they come back to exactly where they are, or maybe even worse, right? But whereas, and on the other hand, all these rich people, successful people, where they have incredible high level money blueprint in their mindset. This in this image we used Donald Trump. I know that he's not really too popular, but we just use him as a story, okay, over here, to show you the mindset, right? Because you see, for him, he's a multi-billionaire, right? And he lost everything, but 2 years later, he got it all back and even more. Why? Because his money blueprint is set for high, right? So this is what we are talking about over here, is in the subconscious mind, you have all these blueprints. And these are formed when we grow up with the environment, with the people that you're around with, right? And you have no idea. They just sank into your subconscious mind, became your blueprint for money or for success or for anything, right? Your beliefs about yourself. Excuse me. So this is what we're talking about, okay? And whatever you think, or sometimes you don't even know you have those thoughts, the beliefs, okay? These are things, and they get manifested in your reality and become things in your life. And it is literally science. I'm going to show you, right, why it's science, how it works. So I don't know, how many of you have heard of this Dr. Masaru Emoto's work about water, the messages from water? Okay, so awesome. Yeah, some of you heard, someone not. It's fine. Absolutely. I'm going to share with you what it is, okay? So what he said, what he discovered is thoughts affect reality. That's what are we talking about? Thoughts are things, right? So that's how important it is. So these are including the negative subconscious beliefs that you don't even know it's there affecting your reality, right? We're going to come back to that in the end, about how powerful we are, and literally everything happening in our life, we are responsible. So that's what I say absolutely always, that I am 100% responsible for all the experiences in my life, right? So this is what it is. So the water has amazing power, and it will show you, right? It will show you whatever you say to it. So these are the things. Okay, so if you say these words to the water, so Dr. Masaru Emoto actually did all these experiments with his students, right? So he tested, they used microscope and to analyze, and they put the water, after they say these words repeatedly to the water, and then they put in the freezer, 20 degrees below zero, right? And then they take the water out, and then just as the water start melt, you will see the crystals forming, okay? And so these are the different messages that send it to the water. So they literally just, what they do is that they just have their students, say to a bottle of water, thank you, or some of them say, oh, you idiot, I hate you, you make me sick. So different messages, right? So these are the evidence, right? This is hardcore science. After they froze the water with different samples with the different messages, and then they came out with this kind of crystals. You can see, right? The thing that we all sort of like agreed with as positive, and it show up as the most beautiful crystals, right? You can see over here. And then the ones that's, very negative, we don't usually like, you can feel as well, will show up as this really ugh, black, blobby kind of formation. So this is what it is. So we kind of agree, right? There are two kinds of energies, right? The energy that we commonly agree as the positive one, and show up as one form, and then the negative ones show up as the other form, right? So they actually wanted to see how far does this go, right? The intention of us human beings can do. So they literally organized 10,000 Japanese, and over a 2-hour period time, and uh, they offered the prayers to the water around the world. So in this, before they did the prayer, they gathered the samples, water samples from around the world, and then afterwards they compare, right? So this is the sample they took from the Fujiwara Dam in Japan. And so this water is very polluted usually. Okay, this is before prayer, the first picture, and you can see it's kind of like very toxic, right? It's, look at it, it's horrible. And then this is the same water that after they offer the prayer. Can you see? This is like almost magic, right? It's kind of like your prayers, your thoughts can purify the water even. That's how powerful our words, our thoughts, our intentions are, right? So that's why I'm saying, be positive. It's not, something that we're saying just for saying it. But another interesting thing about this is that when we say be positive, it's still in a conscious level, right? A lot of things that in the subconscious you have no idea about. That's the part that we're talking about, that if you don't address that, you are still not aware that you are not positive. You are actually just putting on a shield. We will address that later. But this is what happens, right? So what they did is that that's Japan, right? They collected water while they were where they were praying. And let's look at elsewhere. So because they did the samples, they collected samples around the world. So just after the prayer, they collected samples from US, the St. Croix River, and from Minnesota and Wisconsin. So there's a river across the two provinces, two states, and then the Mississippi River. And they had a similar effect before and after. It was a huge difference. So this just really goes to show it doesn't matter where, it's really happening around the world. When you have that intention, it's kind of like your thoughts travels all around the globe. There's another thing we call it like um, kind of like a Wi-Fi. When you have a thought, you have a declaration, you have a desire, you want to do something, right? Once you declare it, it really literally travel around the world, and people who can even feel it, who can even resonate, and they will come and respond. So this is what it is, because essentially we are all water, right? As human beings, when we were born, we are about 80 to 85% water. And then as we grow older, water percentage will drop a little bit, but still, we are majority of us just water, right? As human beings. So can you imagine, right? What does this do to us as human beings? And then also, what does this tell about success? Literally every thought, I think, oh, they're not going to buy my product. Oh, they won't give me the job. Oh, I won't find a parking space. Guess what happens? That's literally you're paving the way, right, with your thoughts. So it just wherever you want to go, right? When you have those thoughts, you literally just paved over there, right? So this is what really happens to all of us as human beings. Some people say, "Oh, I'm just unlucky. I constantly get this." Have a look. What kind of thoughts are you thinking constantly, right? Because you paved your own way for whatever the reality that you created. And it's really interesting. I just want to share with you quickly about this, right? The power of it. I know this picture is quite interesting and shocking, but this was kind of like me. This is not my picture, but it was a representation of me about when I was about 10 years old. Okay. I was herding sheep and goats on a small farm village in middle of nowhere in China. I had a thought because there was an airplane flying overhead, and I said, wow, this is magical. I want to fly with that bird, and I want to, go around the world. Guess where I am? This is exactly what I'm doing. I have been traveling around the world, and now I'm in Dubai. Think about it. If I can do it, you can too. Everybody can do. Just this is what it is. Thoughts are amazing, right? And so I want to share with you a little bit about how people are actually being impacted with this kind of work, right? Talking about literally directly dealing with the 95% of you, the subconscious mind, and using the most effective access, addressing the root cause, right? So there's nothing more, happy and proud for me to hear my clients say, wow, how did it happen? It was like before they did the session or they did the program with me, they felt their life is kind of like dragging their boats across the desert. And afterwards, they felt like, oh, the boat has been put in the ocean and with the sails hoisted up and it's just sailing effortlessly. Can you imagine? This is what happens when you address the 95% of you, right? That's just natural now. Do you know in the past, what's natural is that some people overweight and they can't stop going to open the fridge door and just eat up everything in there because they had that in their subconscious mind, right? So that was natural for them. But when we clear that and we put in the new program for them, so the new program, which of course what they desire, what they want, right, becomes something natural to them, because that's kind of like, if anybody's familiar with the computer, with the software, right? You literally just change the software. You uninstall the old one, and we install the new one. Once you install the new one, of course, everything gonna just run according to the new program, right? So this is the kind of work that's happening. That's what we do. So another story, success story we talk about, I can share with you is my client Kate from London, and she's you can see a gym person, right? So dynamic, vibrant, but something had been plaguing her for over a year. She has this, she's suffering this hip and foot pain, and just mysteriously, and she did so many tests. She went to doctors and test after test, and then she went to physiotherapists and all sorts of other different approaches and treatment, but nothing could help her. And when she came to me and she was desperate, she said, you know what, I'm ready to try anything. So we did a session. In this session, she discovered the root cause of this is actually a negative belief that she had about herself. And after the moment she had no idea, right? She was literally like, wow. She was laughing. Gosh, I couldn't believe that I was thinking about that about myself. I was saying that. And then just this pain she had been spending so much money trying to cure, and nothing could help her. At the end of the session, can you imagine, it was gone, it disappeared. And she was almost like with tears in her eyes. She said, wow, I almost thought I had some sort of rare kind of disease or cancer. I thought I was gonna die because nobody could tell me. I did so many tests and the doctors, and nobody could tell me what it was. And this is kind of results, right? You address the root cause, even the physical pain or illnesses can be healed. And this is another case study. This is my father, and I am so happy and proud that today he goes free. He's happy and no more coughing. So what he had was that he had chronic bronchitis for almost 60 years. As long as he could remember, he got this. So what happened is that in the session, what we discovered, he couldn't even remember that story, right? What happened? So he was a very young boy, okay, below 10 years old, because we all come from small farm village. I was herding sheep and goats because it was so poor. Everybody has to work on the farm. But as a little boy, all he wanted to do was to play. He didn't want to work. But when he didn't comply, he got beaten up by his mother, of course, my grandmother, right? She's the tough one, So he was so unhappy. Oh my God, he was so unhappy. And he actually revolted a few times, but he was feeling guilty because something happened. And so this one day, and he got a cold and cough, and guess what happened? Not only he didn't need to work, He got special treatment. He got his favorite food, and he was so happy. So he was like, "Oh yeah, this is what I want." And because the thing about this is that our subconscious mind. Remember, I'm going to come back to that genie. Okay, do you remember the genie, the subconscious mind? Do you know how we access the genie? Is the thoughts that you hold in your conscious mind and combined with intense emotions, right? It doesn't matter if it's happy emotion or sad emotion. When you have that emotion, and you will have access to the genie, literally the genie will come out and say, your command, sorry, uh, you are the master, right? So your wish is my command. So when he wished that, literally, this is what happened. So this cough just started to, just accompany him every year. It just returns and returns and returns, like serving him faithfully for the past almost 60 years of his life. Do you know, at the beginning, when I asked him, I said, what would your life be like without this cough? And he said to me, freedom. I was like, wow. I literally just almost like choked, because for the longest time, I totally misunderstood my dad. I thought he was a stick in the mud, that he just always wanted to stay at home and didn't want to go anywhere. So what happened really is that, because this cough, he's so sensitive, and if he go out, people smoking, he gets triggered, right? He's coughing. And also because infections in his bronchi, he has mucus. So everywhere he's spitting a lot. So he's just conscientious about that. That restricted his freedom, restricted him from attending the parties, going to places. And I just couldn't believe it. And when I heard that, I was like, wow. And that became my divine mission, to heal him and to help him from this, be free from this. So in a session, literally took him to say to the genie, that's when we have the genie, right? We're getting into the subconscious mind using hypnosis. That's the rapid transformation therapy, which I use. It's more than hypnosis, it's many different things. And literally took him to say, thank you so much for serving me faithfully all these years. I don't need you anymore. From now on, all I want is my perfect health. Tears came out, both of us. It was just like, wow. It was so emotional. Even that discovery, he couldn't even remember the story, right? And then, our subconscious mind is so incredibly powerful. It remembers everything. So that's what, we say, when you have a habit that you don't like, that usually, because your subconscious mind somehow received some command from you in the past. It's there to support you. It's there to, just carry out your command, right? Be the faithful servant that they are. And so once you discover that, what crappy command you give, and then we can clear that, and then we can program in the new program, the new command that you want, right? So now it's almost a year now. My father had absolutely no relapse, and he's cough free, enjoying his happiness, and free, totally, no more coughing. When I went back to treat him, he was having a cough. So right afterwards, that also just died down, right? For Kate, it was the same. The last I saw on her Facebook, she was doing a 1,000 push-up challenge in front of Eiffel Tower in Paris. Can you imagine? Gosh, that was just so amazing. It was so awesome. Yeah. So literally there's 3 things that we can control in our life. Okay. So these are the 3 things. What you can do is your thoughts, and then the pictures that you make in your head. and also our behaviors and actions, right? But they are all interrelated, right? The very important thing over here, the trick is I want to share with you the pictures that we make in our head. This is very, very crucial. Do you know that in the treatment which I gave to my clients, to my father and to other clients, is that it's very important in the end when we program in is to make pictures in the head, because this is how our subconscious mind actually receive our command. Okay, so make sure that whatever you want to do and have those pictures ready. And but another thing about this is that when you want to do that, that's also when we talk about the affirmations. I want to just quickly talk about affirmations. You know, why sometimes affirmations don't work is because, first of all, maybe you didn't clear the ground, right? You didn't clear your field, and you have no space to put them, right? And then secondly, some of the affirmations really don't make pictures, not specific enough. So that's why it doesn't really create that mental picture that your subconscious mind can pick up. Okay. So just some things that I want to share over here. So one more time to stress this because it's so important. Really, our thoughts control our reality, right? I think you all agree with me now so far, huh? Are we all on the same page? Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I have one more incredible exercise I want to share with you. So I'm going to literally drive you further into you experience this. Okay. So this also, again, going to change how you see things really forever. So let's have a look. Okay. So I want to do an exercise with you. So I want you to this is a very funny, interesting exercise. Okay, let's just stay open and try it and see. Okay, for yourself. And so what you do is just like in the picture one, you lie your both hands up, and there are some indentation lines, right, at the end of your palm over here, like the 3 lines. You find the first line like that. Okay, you align both of the palms together like this. Okay, straight. And then you'll see most of us, okay, most of us, we can see that, one hand or one finger, the small finger is longer than the other one. Okay. Can you find all of that? Can you see that? Just in case that if you have the same length, it's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is that if you find it's one longer, I want you to take the shorter one in front of you, in front of your face. Okay, if you have the same length, you just take whichever one in front of your face. Okay. Do we have all figured out? Just take one hand, the shorter one, or if it's the same length, take whichever in front of your face. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna tell this hand, we're gonna do it together, right? You're gonna tell your hand to grow longer. Okay? We're gonna say it 8 times. Let's do this together, okay? Are we ready? Yeah? All right. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Grow longer. 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 All right. Now stop. Okay. So now I want you to line both hands together again and have a look and see what happened. Did you discover anything?
What? How did that happen?
The first time I did it was like blow my mind away. I was like, what? Oh my
What is
God.
it?
It
How is
grew
that
longer.
possible?
So how many of you actually discovered that? It's
Holy
kind of
moly.
like, wow, right? Do you know what this is?
No.
This is literally the power of our intention and also the power of our minds over physical matter all throughout the universe. And we have that power. This is your true power. You know, the session we're talking about discovering your true power. Now, do you see who you are? Amazing, huh? This is absolutely mind blowing, right? So this is really, because you see, Cheryl was talking about earlier. We're talking about the Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within, the seminar. One of the signature things we do at the end is to walk on fire, right? We're the fire walkers. And that's another thing, right? It's similar. This is a similar effect. Can you imagine we did something that normal human beings would say, wow, are you kidding? Are you kidding me? You're crazy. You walk on fire, you burn yourself to death. But that's exactly the same principle, right? Over here. When you tell your mind a certain way, see, for the firewalkers that we put that picture of cool mouse in the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind only picture the cool mouse in front of us. It doesn't matter it's for fire, it doesn't matter it's nails, whatever it is, right? So that's the reality got created in, sorry, that's the thoughts, that's the picture got created in our reality. We're saying that repeatedly, we put that picture in our mind, so then we only believe that's the reality. So that's why when we walk on fire, we don't get burned. It's like normal, it's like nothing. It's the same over here, you know, when you are absolutely, so this is actually something like easier, shorter, simpler version. You just tell your hand, it just does that. Can you imagine, right? How powerful you are, how cool you are now. So I really see, you know, a lot of new things now. And then I would say, you know, maybe you will start to love yourself more instead of cursing yourself and always putting yourself down, beating yourself up. So this is something, right? You have no idea who you are. So now we just had a glimpse and we're going to discover more. Okay, awesome. All right. So come back to the story. I just want to share a little bit about how it started, right? So you can get a glimpse of how this, because my journey really tightly, you know, involved all of this transformation and, you know, using the thoughts. I didn't know, I just utilized that. Somehow that was instilled in me, right? Intuitively, I knew. So when I was about 10 years old, I was out in the fields herding sheep and goats. And of course, it was so poor, right? We was just coming from poor farm families. I was born literally on a pile of ashes. Can you imagine? And at home, of course, no hospital there. And then I had no toys or no snacks growing up. And we were also, you know, kind of like forced to do the farm chores. Or like many times I just felt like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to be somewhere else. And that was my dream mind. And so one day I was out in the fields and herding sheep and goats. And that's what this airplane, not this one, but a big airplane just flew overhead. It was so loud and the noise was just like, wow. So it was really unique as well because it flew really low. I could see the windows on the both sides as well. It was really unique experience that day. And I looked up and I was mesmerized and I literally said, wow. You know, I just like mouth open. I said, you know what? One of the days I made a vow to myself, I will be on the airplane like that. I'll be traveling around the world and doing the things I love and make a difference. I want to make a difference. I want to be out in the world and doing some wonderful things. You know, what happened was that in that moment, I literally closed my eyes and I put that picture in my head. I was literally imagining I was already doing that. I was going all over the place and I dressed so well. I was so happy, right? I was with people and was laughing and smiling. So I just put myself right there. I lived it at that moment. It's already a reality to me. So that impressed my subconscious mind in a way, became my GPS to where I am, right? So, and of course, you know, this is how my journey started. You know, this is my family, my mom, dad, and then 3 siblings. I was on this one, I'm on the left, and then my older sister, my younger brother. And the story is I'm the middle child. And it was quite interesting. We already had the one child policy, but in the rural area, they allowed to have the second one if the first one is a girl. But can you imagine? The second one was me. Everybody wanted a boy. So the moment I was born, oh my God, it was so much sadness, frustration. And so, of course, I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then, of course, a whole bunch of other things. But because I had my GPS, I digressed a little bit. Because I wanted to get out and be in the world. So I studied hard and went to the university. And right at the university, guess what happened? The universe works in such ways. When you have your GPS, when you have your thoughts, you have the things that you want to achieve clear. The universe or God or whatever, the Lord will conspire, like literally deliver everything that you want. I at the university I fell in love with my you know uh, my love, my husband, and he was from Canada, and he flew all the way from Canada to come to this university, and somehow just to meet me there. And then guess what happened the next? We started traveling around the China first, and then around the world, and that became like the starting point of me on this journey traveling around the world. And that was just so incredible. Can you imagine, right? Coming from where I was, it was almost like impossible. If I just stuck to the circumstance, say, oh my God, how am I gonna make it? Impossible. That's most of my peers, they are like having that conversation, right? So that's why they are still back in the small farm village or the small town where they are, so that's the difference, right? So my transformation journey also started with a lot of shifts, right? The shifts happened when we changed the food and changed our physical and changed our thinking altogether. So my transformation started when I was in Thailand and Cambodia. I was teaching English as an ESL English teacher, foreign English language teacher. And so I literally went on a raw food diet and literally changed my physical, like literally my made up, right? And then I did 7 days, 7 nights water fast, like pure water, nothing else, no food. And it was amazing, transformed so many things. And then that, got myself really prepared to enter into this new realm called quantum physics and spirituality. And this, like literally the secret of the universe, right? We're all frequencies. The frequencies are made up with our thoughts and beliefs. This is a very important point. Like I can't even stress enough, right? This is all connected, right? It doesn't matter where it is. Even talking about the older tradition like the Buddhism, right? Or even talking about the Gita, or all the Indian kind of wisdom, or the Chinese wisdom. It's talking about the same thing, the Taoism. It's all talking about where we are vibrating at, our thoughts, our beliefs, right? If you don't deal with this, that's the 95% of you, right? Think about that subconscious mind. This is how you attract your reality. That's why I say it doesn't matter what you want to do, right? You need to clear the field. You need to clear your old beliefs to make space so you can program in the new one. And then the programming, the new one can also be a quick, effective process, right? That's the work which I do, which I'll share with you also again. And just quickly to, let me see the time management. Oh my God, we are over time. I don't think we can finish all of this later, but I will just quickly walk through over here. And I really want to share with you this one, okay? This is a very quick one. So if everyone's agree to be on, and we can share a little bit more, I'll just quickly finish this one. Yeah, of course, if you want to leave, no problem. And I really appreciate you being here. And I really love this journey. I think I'm just rambling too much now. Awesome. Okay. So this is the golden Buddha in Thailand, right? After I studied with all these successful people, which I really learned is that how they get to be successful is that they must work on themselves, working on this 95% of them in the subconscious mind, clear the old, and so they can get into the new, right? So what happened is that, when we talk about this golden Buddha, right? It's kind of like the essence within all of us. Remember earlier I was talking about the true power? That true power is the golden essence within all of us. It's kind of like we all have it, okay? As human beings, we all have it, right? It's not about we don't have it, we need to get it inside of us. So this story really resonates with this because the golden Buddha originally was called the clay Buddha. It was this huge, large clay Buddha in Bangkok, right? One of those attractions in Bangkok. If you go there, have you been to Bangkok? I used to live there for a few years. Yeah, if you go there, you will definitely need to visit this, right? So this golden Buddha weighs a ton. So there was one time, I think this is huge, as a 10.5 feet, and the gold value itself more than $200 million now. Okay, that's only the gold value. Doesn't count the historical, the artistic value here, right? So, but back in the 1950s, nobody knew the golden Buddha. Okay, it didn't even exist. So it was one time, one day, they needed to move this large clay Buddha. Was a clay Buddha back then, and from one side of Bangkok to the other side, because they are making way for a road to come through. So because it was so heavy, they're using a crane, and as they were lifting the Buddha, there was a crack happened, and then everybody was scared, right? The head Buddha said, oh, head monk was saying, "Gosh," and then they lowered the Buddha down, and then then it happened that it started to rain, so they covered Buddha with this fabric, and then later on during the night, this one monk came out and to check whether the Buddha was staying dry, and so he was shining a flashlight. Somehow, it has a reflection came back to him from the crack. He said, "Wow, the clay doesn't reflect, right? There must be something in there." And so the next day, they chipped from the back side just in case that they made a mistake, right? And lo and behold, of course, this golden Buddha came out, and it was like, oh, everybody was so incredibly like couldn't believe it, right? But the thing about this is that just like all of us, what happened in this is a discovery, right, journey. It's like the golden Buddha got discovered. Discover literally means to take the cover off, right? Take the clay, take all this stuff. So this is all of us. This is the journey, right? We come into this world covered in clay. And this is clay is a metaphor for all the negative beliefs, the self-doubt and the sense of guilt and shame. And that we're not enough and not worthy. And this is really common. We all have this, right? Because this is our journey as a human being. If you have a manual, this will be the manual. Will tell you this is what what you're gonna be believing, and then your journey is to go learn, so you can take off all this covers and clay and all the shit. Okay, so the golden essence can come out, and as who we are, that's our true identity. This is our true power, right? This is the true power will come out and shine, right? So this is what happens. This is what happened to me, right? To really do that. And then I wanted to ask you the question, are you ready? And this is my story, right? I was telling you my story. I was born being unwanted, and I was criticized because my grandmother was the tough one, right? Remember, he beat my father up and he didn't want to work. And so she was really tough and she was criticizing me because she didn't want me. She wanted to send me away, but my parents, my mom couldn't give me away because somebody already came to take me. But my mom was crying, and finally they just kept me. And so I took off all of this negative stuff and all of this, because I worked on myself for so many years, and I really took on myself, and I know this is the only way. And if you really want to do, and if you really want to be something in this world, right? Commit to something in the future, commit something that you're really passionate about, right? And then I'm committed to solving big problems. I also commit to support leaders, and because I know the leaders will in turn be the light, illuminate their community. Because the truth about this is that we are infinitely abundant. We can have it all, right? So there's no need to limit. But the first thing you got to do is work on yourself, clear, and then you can program in the new one. So this is what I've been doing because all of this is science, right? Imagine, right? Imagine all of this. We are locked away. Our true abundance, everything that we want is locked away in the safe, right? So the only thing you need to learn is just the combination, right? The numbers. If you learn the combination, the numbers, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how old you are, sick, young, whatever, you will be able to access your true abundance, right? Everything, anything that you want, right? So there's another story which I shared over here about my client in US. You know, she has the same kind of journey, right? And she was almost broke and going back to live with her parents when she came to see me, and she discovered all of that was holding her back. And you know what, now she got a $1 million term sheet, and building a new team and having new partners. It's just really amazing. Things are just taking off because over here it changed, right? Shift. So this is what I do. I help people access their subconscious mind so we can clear all of the stuff that doesn't really serve you, so we can really enjoy effortless success and joyful living. This is really what we deserve as human beings. If this is a menu, right, this will be something that literally can help you steer you to that direction. And for me, I think the most important thing is do that one thing that can change everything. If you address the thing from the root problem, right, the root, everything will come out with the fruits that you want, instead of constantly firefighting and tackling all those things coming from all the different directions, right? So it's really, really amazing about the beliefs and the blueprint or our perception in your mind. Just really challenging you to see, right? But you see, again, another thing is that we are now talking about our 5%. Okay, we are all here in our 5%. Our 95% hasn't really, worked up yet. Okay, so whatever you see over here, just awareness. But the next thing, what you need to do is the actions that will really make sure that you get to the next level, right? It's all about setting your belief system, your blueprint to a high level of success. If this is what you want, you need to work on your 95% of you, the subconscious mind, right? So whatever it is, once you do that, you can absolutely, be free and then have all of this you want. You can have it all. So the negative beliefs, whatever it is, it's all meant to be. There's no need to beat yourself up. Everybody goes through that, right? So the right process is always take some actions, take steps to support yourself so you can get to where you want to be. And also there's a effortless route. That's choice. So this is what I want to share with you, and thank you so much everyone for being here. And I would say, everyone who's here listening, you are really ready, because not everybody can receive this kind of information. When you're ready, you will receive the information. So I really want to acknowledge all of you, because you are the leaders which I'm talking about. I'm supporting you so you can in turn supporting more people. And of course, I'm here if you need any of the support, any other support. I'm here. And then also there's so many other different approaches as well. So the most important thing is do something, take actions. Don't just learn and then just leave it and not doing anything. Then it's just useless, because knowing doesn't make the difference, right? All right. Thank you so much. I think I took too much time. I don't know whether we have question and answer time.
Jing, this was so good. We didn't want you to stop, honestly. Like, I was amazed by what you shared today. And, I've done a lot of learning on this path, but this has totally amazed me. I'm still looking at my hands, and I can't believe
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And then
Thank
also,
you, Jing.
yeah,
Thank
I
you.
truly believe
You
this
have
message is very important. And I want to actually share with as many people as possible so that we can really get to have the awareness, so that prepare people to take the actions, because what's required next is really truly action. Otherwise, it won't make much of difference. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. I just want to know from you before I probably, if you have 5 minutes, so we can take any questions. If you have 5 minutes, Jing.
Oh no, I have a lot of time. I'm just
Okay.
worried about other people. I
Yeah.
scheduled my evening this completely open for this because I know that I probably gonna.
That's awesome. That's
I'm
perfect.
passionate about this topic. It's so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's
Thank
what
you.
you live for, right?
Absolutely. Do you know that Sher? Yeah, I'm gonna talk again. Okay, so just quickly, do you know this one question Steve Jobs asked himself every day almost? If I were to die tomorrow, will what I about to do? Will I still do what I about to do? And I ask myself this question a lot, all the time. And then I just felt like, absolutely, even on my deathbed, this would be something that I, I would like gladly like. This is something that's gonna change so many people's lives. Yeah, absolutely.
I completely resonate with you. Absolutely, Jing. Okay, so before we can open up for Q&A, I just want to know how was your experience connecting with all of us here, the Fear to Freedom family? How did you feel?
Oh, amazing. Yeah, this is definitely a high impact, high energy community. And I really sense the energy and I really sense the work that you're doing and how wonderful it is you're creating this community. Because you see, we're all partnership, right? We are partners on this journey. It's about making a difference, right? So, absolutely. I really admire and I'm feeling blessed to be here and so honored, really, to be in this space, to be welcomed in like this. So sweet. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We are honored and we are blessed to have you. Absolutely. Okay, this is awesome. I just love the love. All right, guys, now we're open for Q&A. Anyone who has a question for Jing, so please go for it. This is your opportunity.
I'm
Take
going to
it.
stop the share.
Yeah, sure.
Oops. Okay. All right. So we're coming back and see the faces finally, all of you. Oh yeah, some we didn't see before. Welcome everyone. The new one, new faces, beautiful faces. Yeah.
Stephen is in the mountain somewhere. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I love his background.
Yes, Coach Cheryl. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just like to take this opportunity. I came in for the first session today, and yes, I am really feeling high, and it's a great spirited session. I can see a lot of people here: Coach Cheryl, Tarun, Michael, Brother Jipan, Renal, Tulika. Many, all of them are there. It's really wonderful to be here, and I thank Miss Jing. I'm in Mumbai right now. I'm in India,
Oh,
and it's really amazing session, like so many things unlocked, so many things, the way you told about the mind, how you think, what we do, the actions. So a lot of introspections to me, like how do I start my day, what do I do, and being thankful to everything. And the example you took about water, that was also amazing. Yes, thank you, ma'am, for your valuable time that you have given to all of us. So thank you so much. God bless you for that.
thank you. And you're
Thank,
very welcome. Yeah, very
thank you,
welcome.
thank you. Well,
And thank you for being here.
yes, yes, it's my pleasure, and I can say it's my privilege that I got this opportunity to be here. Or maybe I could be elsewhere, but it's really an honor to be here and to learn something.
Yeah.
So
That's
thank
how
you, ma'am.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
how incredible it is. So that's what I say. People who are ready will receive this message, really. And I
yes,
want,
yes.
of course, my mission is to make or help more people to be ready for this message and to share more so we can all grow together, because this world, the more we are into it, especially with this COVID, we all know, right? We are so connected. You cannot be separate by yourself, live by yourself in this world, right? So this is how important it is, to elevate each other, because you see, this is how we're going to go forward. This is kind of like the new world we're going into. Yeah, new world.
It's really good. This technology is so wonderful. Like you may be in US, Coach Cheryl is in Canada, you're in Dubai, and I'm in Mumbai. So wherever we are still connected. So
Yeah,
that's the best blessing I can say on Facebook Live and on Zoom. It's wonderful.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Anybody else has a question? Tarun, Michael, Jeevan, Neeraj, Tilika, Vincent, Mona, Oliver.
Yeah, we have
Right?
new faces also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, Jing, I would just, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can, Michael.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, just to add to what Stephen had just mentioned, thank you. I mean, on behalf of everyone, actually, I'm sure that you would have seen the chat messages and thank you. I like the way you started the session with the genie. Everyone's fascinated by these magical and the fantastic stories. And yes, of course, that got us engrossed. You gave us examples of this water, which we are aware of course, but we just got to believe that this happened. But this magical path actually culminated in the actual magic that we actually did. You know, that was the manifestation that yes, this is possible. You know,
Yes.
so I've never seen in any talks this kind of structure, the way you went with the flow. And I'm sure, like me, everybody actually believes with this live demonstration that we can unleash that golden version of ourselves by just commanding the genie, if I have to speak in the words that you spoke in the session, right? And thank you, we are so grateful for this. Yeah, so, and like you said in the later part of your session, and I've been talking to Cheryl also, who's my coach and guiding me on the this path, that unless we actually put into practice, we will not know how incredible souls that we are. So yes, this definitely inspired me, and I will start putting more things into action. Thank you so much. That's what I
You're
wanted to say.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. And I would say you are absolutely on the right path, and having Cheryl as your coach and guiding you, and I have no doubt that you will reach there. Absolutely. I have full confidence in you. That's so amazing. Yeah. See, this is the kind of actions that you take, because many of the, like most of the time when I encounter resistances, that people think that they can do all by themselves. So the funny thing about this is that in the menu of being a human, the first principle, the first rules, you can never do that by yourself, because you need other people to be your mirror, especially the people who are elevated already, right, ahead of you, so can show you what you are stuck with. Because if you're just all by yourself, you are only doing circles in that 5%. You cannot get out. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point, is that it doesn't matter how many books you read, how much you study. Like, oh my God, I have all these different degrees. I did this, I attend that seminar, I did this and that. It doesn't make the difference. Do you know that the funny thing about even Tony Robbins, that I walked on fire? It didn't make the difference. Do you know why? Because that was just one thing, that one time, right? It was just impressed on my subconscious mind. Oh, okay, that's fine. But what really truly made a difference is that I took action, really, choose to clear what's in my subconscious mind, and then programming what I really want, so that it started to really shift. It's all about the frequency, right? What you want to shift over here, your beliefs and your thoughts. So that's how everything gonna start working. So what I discovered is that using my method, which I use, called rapid transformation therapy, really provides that most effective way, because that's the three steps which I do. First, I clear, and then I prepare the field, and then I reprogram. So that's the most important thing, because we got to have the access to the subconscious mind first. That's the most effective way to clear the whatever is blocking you. Yeah. Yeah.
Just to add also, I just love the mission that you have of guiding the human souls, the shepherd to the human souls. So someday I would want to do that. Okay, so that's, I will always want to do it. I think someday I will do it. Yeah,
Someday you would do
so much.
what?
Shepherd to the human souls. That's your mission, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you are
So,
doing it,
so
Michael, without you knowing it, because you see, you're already taking actions and taking coaching and, getting sort of transformation. And, the beautiful thing about being human is that that's really nothing required. You just need to be you, but you need to be true self. See, the actions that you took speak so much. You are already doing that without you knowing, because you see the whole point is about how you vibrating, where are you vibrating, right? The more you take on to work on yourself, the higher you're vibrating. And then the higher you're vibrating, you naturally become the light for other people. It doesn't require like, oh my God, I just want to be like that. No. For me, because I am just, this is me. This is my true self. I'm just vibrating at this level. I don't need to push myself, struggle, saying, oh my God, I have to do that. This like extra work, right? So whatever you're doing, just being you, of course, the true self, okay? That's what the true power we're discovering today. That is the missing piece. That's the beautiful part, Yeah.
Thank
Discover
you
the
so
true self
much.
through you.
Thank
And
you.
you are guiding others by being you. And by being the beautiful you, the powerful you. Really. Super
Thank you.
amazing. I really appreciate you, and thank you for being on this journey, being the partner. Really
Thank
Thank
you.
amazing.
you,
Thank you.
Michael. Thank you very much, Jing. Okay, if you have any questions, we can take them. Yes, Jeevan, I can see your hand. Go for it.
Hi, Jing. How are you? This was brilliantly amazing. This is one of the topic, power of subconscious mind, which connected me to Coach Cheryl, and I'm in this journey with her, which is I think it's a God's blessing, and I'm so glad to know you from this topic as well. Um, to tell me a very short thing about short situation about me right now. See, let's say I was on some level, and because of my some situation, I was crashed, and now I'm trying, to get back, learning, practicing, learning, practicing. I'm doing it. Yeah. So for the person like me, and this is something powerful. So I'm reading the book as well, and I'm practicing as well. So what do you? But in this life journey, there is always high and low, and we get back to the low time of our life. Sometimes we stay a little bit more longer on that time, those stages. So person like me, do you advise to
Yeah.
get back in a track faster?
Yeah. It's interesting that you ask this question. Thank you so much. You will contribute to, I think, many people over here. So, because this is life, right? This is how we're dealing with. Even as I said, all the things that we go through from the beginning, because that's how the subconscious mind being programmed, is that we just absorbing as a kid, right? We just so open, we absorbing everything surround us, environment, everything. Then we get to survive, right? That's a survival mechanism. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all meant to be this journey, right? Because the journey, this is a constant unfolding. It's never about changing you. Oh my God, you're something bad about you. We need to change that. It's all about learning and see, oh, okay, what works, what doesn't. Okay, if you don't want that, okay, you just choose again, right? Because it's all free will. And then life is all about this as well. Life is all about learning and seeing and being with reality. Yes, I understand what you shared, and I appreciate you open up and being vulnerable, and in front of everyone as well. I really appreciate that. It takes courage, and it speaks who you are as well, right? Your space and being so powerful you are. So what happened is that usually, you know, people like constantly, because I made a funny. I was just gonna see whether I have that thing I shared on my LinkedIn. I made a interesting collage. Actually, I think this is really important. I want to find it. Let me just give me a second. I'll pull up my LinkedIn and I'll share with you.
Sure.
Because this collage will speak everything about what you just shared over here. What you wanted to understand. So just 1 second. Give me. Okay, so here it is. I got it. So that's quick enough. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, here. Okay. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So this is basically what happens, okay? So how we navigate life is kind of like this, okay? So there are two choices basically. See the first one, That's a surfer, right? See how happy she is navigating everything. The waves always ups and downs, right? Do you see? Have you ever seen a wave just fixed over there, doesn't move? You can just go like that? No, right? So this is life. There are always circumstances beyond our control, right? And then there's you. Let's say we are the cosmic surfer in all of this in the life, right? So there's always a choice that you can make. You can you can choose to have peace, fun, ease. That's what I want, right? Regardless of the circumstance in life. So if you can do this, you can choose always be with it. If I'm up, I'm up. If I'm down, I'm down. There's nothing about it shouldn't be this way. Why it's up? Why it's down? Right? The moment you say, "Oh my God, it shouldn't be this way," you start complaining, and you drown yourself because you're not with the reality anymore. You're not playing the game. You're stuck in your head. You think, "Oh, I know better. God is wrong. He created this. Oh, I don't deserve this. I deserve much better." No, I'm just being funny, but the point is really the principle is circumstance in life is really just circumstance. That's what I was saying earlier. My mission, what I want to create in this world is to help people expand happiness and freedom. I never say to help you to be happy and free. People at certain times you have certain level of that, but to go to the next level, to expand, right, to really from the awareness to understand you actually have a choice. You can choose to be a certain level of happiness or freedom or go to the next level or the ultimate is just like the Buddha, right? Regardless, anywhere, anytime, under any circumstance, you can always choose to be with peace, fun, happiness, ease, anything you choose to be. Because you see, if you are choosing to be with the circumstance, like let's say, come back to Jiban's, what he shared. He was high, and then he came back to some place, encountered some challenges, right? So if you are with the challenge, right, and take responsibility for it, saying, okay, this is my life, I'm responsible for it, and I'm also accepting it. This is the reality, not fighting it, right? There's no need to say try. I need to be. I have to be like up there. No, you can see I choose. This is something I want to be. I choose. All right. The next thing is then there's no extra emotions, right? Other people, when people are struggling, when you say, oh, life shouldn't be this way, I need to be up there, then your emotions, your energy is actually drained into a direction which you have no control over, which is your emotions saying, oh, it shouldn't be this way, oh, I'm so sad, or other people looking at me this way, that way. And then you are, kind of like the hose on the rocket. Another analogy which I would like to
Yeah.
use. But if you say, okay, this is where I am, no problem. I accept this is my reality. I accept my responsibility as well. All right, this is where I want to go. All right, this is my choice. Okay, I can still choose to be all this. Okay, have peace and fun, ease, and then not having my being, because this is your frequency, right? Whatever you believe. Because if you say, oh, I shouldn't be here, then you will be like this man struggling in water. That's your frequency, and then you will attract more of that. Instead of saying, okay, no problem, I'm here, fine, right? I can deal with it. So what actions do I need to take? Then, your frequency will naturally attract all the right resources, right people, and, the opportunities to help you, to support you get to where you want. Because in your mind, you already have that GPS, right? Your rocket without any holes. So you can go right there. Yeah.
Wow.
I, I
Thank
think
you.
I hope this answers your question.
Yes,
Jiben, you
yes.
something?
To be honest, the picture you shared, this definitely answers my question, because with a lot of high tide, people get, a lot of people panic, they drown, but a surfer, they enjoy and they're gonna have the best time of their life.
Yeah.
And this is something which I'm practiced with the guidance of Coach Cheryl, definitely. And recently, going for Vipassana for 10 days has given me a lot of clarity and to observe things the way it is.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts also for that. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And then also, you can search me as well on LinkedIn, and welcome to connect with me. And
Sure.
I absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna stop the share over here, and I also share a lot of things on my LinkedIn and to encourage people, because my social media, it's so funny. I used to do this here on Facebook and Instagram, and then I was like, my energy got drained, and now I just only do in LinkedIn. It's much easier to manage, so I mostly only post over there and share my thoughts and stuff, so you can absolutely get benefits if you want to learn more about what I'm up to. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
you're welcome. And I absolutely see the strong leadership that Coach Cheryl has over here, and she's such amazing soul. And
Oh,
I just felt like I'm so connected, because I felt like we're almost like one, because we are on the same journey and doing the same thing. And I see how big her heart is, and really, truly amazing. And I just want to give a shout out to this gorgeous, amazing, incredible, beautiful human being. And what amazing spirit. Yeah, I'm just really honored to be here in your space. Yeah.
thank you so much, Jing. You said it. I felt the same way, that we are one, the exact same mission, same thoughts, same way of leading people. Yeah. So I'm sure everybody can see that. The same words you use, I use. It's definitely the same. Really, really amazing to have you. But yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by your love. Thank you. Okay, if anyone
Thank
has
you.
any questions, we'll take them or we'll allow her to go now. Yeah, Ranira, go for it, darling.
Hello, I do not have a question. I actually want to say thank you. I want to say thank you because first you made me cry before. Now you made me laugh. And you've showed me that I am a magician and I can actually grow things out of my hands. So I'm just not sure what I'm going to try next. Third, thank you for accepting this invitation. One, because the reason we called you here was very, very insane to me in my meditation. And I told Coach, I said, Coach, this is what has happened. And I think we need to call her. And she's like, we do not say no to all these things. You have to call her. If it's come to you, you have to call her.
Wow.
And we have you here. We just knew you were supposed to be here. And I think, like you said, it's just the path. Everybody's supposed to be here. Everybody who's supposed to get this, who's ready for this, is here. I also want to share with everyone, when Jing says she wants to be a humanitarian and she wants to touch people, recently shared an article on LinkedIn, a video and an article actually doing a demo on the mask. I reshared it on my LinkedIn. So she's gone ahead and done the thing wherein she's requested everyone, I don't have a mask here, but she's requested everyone to unplug each side after using it, because when people throw it back in the sea, these fish are getting stuck in it and are dying. So she's made a video for everybody to please go ahead and follow, and not do that, and in a way add or give back to the animal community. So that is one of the things, that's very simple thought, but something that was very, it really took my heart away, and I was sharing it. So this is what I want to say. She does these small things, and that's what amazes me about her. And Jing, the same thing about the other woman. Let's address the elephant in the room. And I speak on behalf of everyone else. When it comes to Coach Cheryl, she is one of the kindest human beings that we've met. And she has, in a way, changed all our lives. Now, if I get into to this thing, we'll have everybody else crying, and then you'll have that ticked again on your thing. But yes, she's somebody who believes in us and has always believed in us in certain aspects where we've not believed in ourselves. So we're very, very grateful. And everyone who's here is a family, because she makes us feel like family. So that is something that is very important. And she's very kind. She doesn't have any restrictions towards us. Without anything that we want to say, anything that we want to do, she's just all open. She's like, go for it. I'm here, if you need anything. So that's the reason you feel the love, the energy here. It's because it's always high, is because she's always kept us that way. Not on any drug, just on love.
So sweet. Renera, this is my work, right? Even though without you saying that, this is frequency, this is energy. How we vibrate, it can't lie, right? Energy doesn't lie. And then also what I say is money is also energy, right? So it's all about how we're attracting and how we are about or with money. So it's the same. So the reason why I say that is because this is something that people are dealing with right now as well. So it's very important. So, and I really do appreciate what you shared and what you brought into the space, and it's so sweet. And I truly believe, we are, all of us, right? Of course, Coach Cheryl and I, we done some, more of the intense work on ourselves. So we get to be, sort of like a little bit ahead. And so we can share more and, especially what we learned and what we expanded ourselves into. But this is the thing, we're all connected in a way. We're all one, like what she said. We are one, and then we are all one. And that's the same message which I shared about the mask. Because, this world, this globe, it's absolutely we're all family. This globe, this earth is our home. That's all. Not only our human beings, all the animals, all the beings here, we are one. We are family, right? So that's the kindness will just, compassion will naturally just ease out of it. And there's no need to even force ourselves as I had to do this. It just comes naturally, especially for the Vipassana meditators. This is like Jivan, this is so close to our heart, right? Like when we meditate, when we are in that frequency, in that space, like literally I did 2 times, and then I was about to do this 3rd time, and then at the end, just uncontrollable, just all tears, because I was immersed in the unconditional love, the oneness, that we all frequency, so connected, so connected. So that's what Renera is sharing about Coach Cheryl is same. She's vibrating on that frequency, so that we all are one, so we can lift each other up, so we can all go there together and be better, happier, and enjoy the expanded freedom and happiness. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, 100% Jing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much for saying that and confirming it, because everybody needs to hear it many times from many sources to start to believe it. And I know that they've heard it many, many times, but it just helps to hear it from a different person. It's just reiterates and reaffirms that this is the truth. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Jing.
Welcome. Different mirrors, because we're all mirrors for each other. Don't forget, anyone, all of you are my mirrors.
Yeah.
I never take everything or anything lightly, because I know how important, how incredibly blessed that I am to be here and to have you and you're listening. Really, so honored. Yeah.
Thank you, Jing. I love you, Jing, and
I love
everybody
you
who loves
too. I love everyone here. I love all of you.
We love you
It's
too. 3, 4.
Five, six.
Sweet.
Love you
So
too.
I
Five,
think let's
six,
end
seven,
this session
everybody.
with all of us shouting, I love you. How's that?
Yeah. Oh, love it.
All right, let's unmute, guys. So on the count of 1, okay, I'm going to count down. We all unmute and we all shout, I love you. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. I
Love you.
love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Jing. And thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Love you all. Love you all. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Thank you
Bye,
so
Coach
much.
Cheryl.
Bye,
Have a
bye.
Bye.
wonderful
God
day.
bless. Bye.
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 Bye
Bye
bye,
bye.
Jing. Bye, Michael, Renal. Bye
Bye,
bye.
Yeah.
Steve. Bye,
Bye,
Cheryl.
Michael. Bye,
Bye,
Jeevan. Bye,
Tulika.
Bye, Rennie. Bye,
Bye,
Stephen.
Bye,
Oliver.
Ranira.
Bye
Bye,
bye. Bye,
Rennie. Bye,
Stephen.
Vincent.
Bye.
Bye, Oliver.
Bye, Vincent. Bye, Oliver.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Renel, can you
Stay
stop
good.
the